Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. So, a series I had worked on for a while, but I haven't done in a while, is Life as a Working Disney Cast Member. Now, I don't 100% know exactly where I'm at, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that I'm on a chapter regarding working my very first Thanksgiving at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Even if it's not a chapter, it doesn't matter. I think it would be a really interesting chapter to talk to you guys about anyway. Let me put this camera in a better spot. Anyway, so yeah, it's been at least a year or two, considering I literally haven't done this since I last moved here. So I'm sure I'll be a lot better than I was. So, of course, for many years I had never worked at or I should say, never worked on Thanksgiving Day ever in my life. And the very first year that I ever worked for Disney, guess what? I worked on Thanksgiving, so I was like completely surprised, and I'm thinking to myself, "What? Okay, this is very different, just a little bit." When I saw my schedule, it was like a good long day. It started in pretty late in the morning. I think they had breakfast that morning. So I started the day out outside, and I remember driving even to work earlier that morning. I'm like, "Whoa, there's nobody out. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to driving on Highway 27, which is a major highway in Central Florida, and then getting on Interstate 4, I-4, going eastbound to Disney, and there was absolutely nobody on the road." I'm like, "Okay, well, this is interesting." So, I'm at Disney, and of course, there wasn't a ton of people there. We did open for breakfast that morning since it is a holiday, and I'm sure that's something that they do every single year. Is they open Min and Bill's Dockside Diner early for breakfast. I know they call it Dockside Diner now, but back then they called it Min and Bill's Dockside Diner. And they have a really good breakfast selection. I was, really impressed. They had like cinnamon rolls, they had sausages, eggs, juice, the whole nine yards. It was great. And then, we later on went into lunch, and I started out my day outside just cleaning tables and just enjoying the fresh air. But the best part was I knew for a fact that I was getting double time. Well, I was at least getting time and a half. I don't know about the double time, but I definitely know that I was getting time and a half. So I was like very happy about that. And, later on in the day, I kind of knew to myself that I was going to get a very cheap lunch because my dad had made the comment to me that's something that they like to do for the cast members. So, later on around lunchtime, I went to the employee cafeteria, which I'm not telling you guys exactly where it is at all. In fact, I'll just give you a rough idea. Let's just put it this way: it's in the center of the park, but it's in a disclosed location. I won't say because I don't want people snooping around back there going, "Ooh, whatever it is." Yeah, it's just not going to happen. The important thing is I know where it's at, and I don't plan on ever going back there unless I work for Disney again. Which you never know could happen in the future, but I don't plan on it. So, I go back there, and yes, they did have all this Thanksgiving food. And it was the one time that the other restaurants that they have in this cafeteria had absolutely no lines. Like, they have a Subway in every single cafeteria. There was nobody getting subs at all. Everybody wanted the Thanksgiving food, and it was only $1. I'm like, I mean, they had turkey, they had mashed potatoes, they had green beans or green bean casserole, something like that. They even had the cranberry sauce for your turkey. They had a Hawaiian sweet roll or something equivalent to that. And then they gave you a free soda. It was great. Of course, for us Northerners, it would be called pop, but you know how that is. And I'm like, wow, for only $1, this is what I get. This is great. Of course, I'm thinking to myself, I wish I could get more, but unfortunately, they were limiting it to only one entree per person. It was a long day, so I unfortunately only got leftovers when I got home. It's just, one of those things. It kind of stinks. I'm just saying. But I am very very happy that I at least got that much food when I was working at Disney. I'm like, it's the thought that counts, and I can't exactly say that Disney didn't do anything because they did, and I was very appreciative of it. And it was kind of cool just being there. And the best part is I got to do it again a year later when I worked at Magic Kingdom at Tomorrowland Speedway. I once again got the whole dollar meal, Thanksgiving dinner down in their cafeteria. Of course, once again, not telling you guys. I'm just gonna tell you guys it's in the Utilidors. I would say the very first time I did it was my favorite at Hollywood Studios. It's just one of those things that I never would think that a company would ever do for you. I would say that by far my favorite thing that a company has ever done for me on Thanksgiving is public supermarkets. Everybody would do like a potluck, and we would all bring in the food into the break room. And oh my goodness, like the day before Thanksgiving, that's what we did. I would eat so much, and I'm not the only one. A few others I knew personally that would do the same thing, and I did that for like 6 years. And it was kind of nice because the day before Thanksgiving, 2017, I worked at Publix. I ate that giant Thanksgiving feast. Then the very next day, oh, there's my brother messaging me. Yeah, then the very next day I would get that really cheap meal at you know, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and then my parents did their absolute best to make sure that there was a way for me to still celebrate Thanksgiving with the family. I don't know if I did it back in 2017, but I know for a fact that there was one year that I did manage to celebrate Thanksgiving with the family because that was something we always did, whether it was on Thanksgiving Day or whether it was Black Friday. We would try to get out with his sister out in Orlando, Florida, and we would spend Thanksgiving Day with her. And that was honestly back in the day when I really, really liked Thanksgiving because we would get to celebrate with her. So it's kind of nice. As far as like Thanksgiving goes nowadays, I don't know if I would really want it off. I'm going to give it a try since I got the pay time off from Meijer. But hey, if I don't get it, at least I know that I open now, so it doesn't really matter. Excuse me. But here comes the ironic part about working Thanksgiving Day at Disney. On Thanksgiving Day, especially at Hollywood Studios, I noticed that my shift was pretty long, but yet it didn't feel that long because of the fact that it was not that busy. It was kind of steady. And then I came in the next day. I was like, "Whoa, where all these people come from?" Because they were all at their resorts, or they were at home celebrating Thanksgiving with their family. And then the very next day, well, we're just gonna go play at the theme parks now. I mean, if it comes down to it, it's one of those things you have to ask yourself, what would I rather do? Would I rather work in retail on Black Friday or Thanksgiving night? Or would I rather work at Walt Disney World or a theme park of some type that is open on Thanksgiving Day and deal with all that? In some ways, yeah, working at the theme park is a lot easier. Trust me on that one. Because, the theme parks can be pretty crazy on the day after Thanksgiving. But I would say more so the day before Thanksgiving because people want to be able to celebrate time with their families and friends before, the holiday, the major holiday. I would definitely say if you're that kind of person that does not mind going to Walt Disney World on Thanksgiving Day, go for it. Obviously, it's not going to be too crowded. Obviously, it's not, that kind of special traditional holiday you would want to spend at Disney. I would say Christmas Day more so. I don't know what it is about going to Disney on Christmas Day. It just feels more magical. And Thanksgiving Day, it's just not the same as Christmas. It really is not. But trust me, when I get to the Magic Kingdom days, then you'll get to hear all about Christmas because that is something I did, or sorry, that is a day I did get to work one time at Magic Kingdom, and I also got to work at one time at Hollywood Studios, but I did it in a completely different area. I worked at Toy Story Land on Christmas Day, and that was last year. Was it last year? No, that was 2018. I'm so sorry. Last year I did work at Disney, but I was at Meijer at Christmas last year, so you know how that is. Anyways, guys, this wasn't a really long section. There really wasn't a lot to talk about. And you know what's even funnier is the whole Thanksgiving thing at Disney's Hollywood Studios was literally like one of the last things I got to do at Disney's Hollywood Studios before I transferred over to Magic Kingdom. Because then after that, I did transfer over. Because a few weeks prior, I got the letter from a group of employees that work in the transfer department or something like that. I don't remember what it's called now. I wish I did. And they came with my transfer request saying I got approved and that I was going to Tomorrowland attractions at Magic Kingdom. And actually, my last day was on Black Friday that year. So I was like, what? So, it's kind of a bittersweet day. At least I got to be there as long as I could. In some ways, I could have stayed longer, but honestly, I think I came to Magic Kingdom the right time. I should have stayed at Magic Kingdom longer. I should have just, transferred to Magic Kingdom, stayed at Tomorrowland Speedway, and tried to just cross train as much as I could, and just put up with the pain. Instead, I got impatient, and you're gonna learn the hard way over the course of this series the decisions I made that were not that great. So I guess time will tell with this series what happens. But I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.